What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a preview for the Dawning 2025. Almost seems weird to talk about this at the tail end of the first week of the expansion, but given that it launched in December, that means there isn't much time until the Dawning actually drops, which will be, I believe, from December 16th. So in this one, we're going to round up what has changed in the event. In particular, the new weapons look pretty interesting, and will probably be the biggest draw for it, of course. But there's new armor, and a few unique items worth mentioning. So as always guys, if you enjoyed the video, a rating really does help us out. But now, let's get into it. First up, this is the Dawning armor for the year. These are ornaments, so they'll be available via the Eververse store, and I think we'll see the normal thing, where they're 1500 silver or 6000 bright dust in order to pick up the set. I do not believe we are getting any kind of unique bonuses associated with this armor, unlike what we had with Solstice, for instance, so unless I'm mistaken, it is a purely cosmetic set. It doesn't appear that anything massive has changed with how the Dawning actually works though, so we'll be doing Dawning deliveries, baking cookies and all of that kind of stuff in order to receive rewards. There are a couple of new cookies that we can spot right there. One of them is for Archie the dog. Then of course we get all of the tiered engrams and things added to the Dawning. Briefly before we get into weapons and stuff, we can earn ingredients by defeating different combatant factions and using specific weapons, elements and abilities. Then earn Dawning essence by completing various activities. And combine ingredients to bake cookies, which can be delivered to vendors to receive Dawning rewards. And of course there will be an event home with challenges and things like that. With 3 new Dawning weapons, or featured Dawning weapons should we say, where there will also be focused decoding options, so like we've seen with other events, these are going to be pretty easy to earn really. Firstly, we have the Permafrost. This is a stasis wave frame grenade launcher, and there'll be the normal variant as well as Holofoils, which are basically like frozen variants of the weapon. Looking at the potential roles for Permafrost, the first column has Attrition Orbs, as well as Overflow, Blast Distributor, Rhyme Stealer, Demolitionist, Impromptu Ammunition, and Lead from Gold. With the second slot able to roll Desperate Measures, Crystalline Corpse Bloom, One for All, Reaper's Tithe, Pugilist, and Adrenaline Junkie. So mostly perks that we are familiar with, as well as obvious combos like Rhyme Stealer and Crystalline Corpse Bloom. That's the one that gives the large stasis crystal near the victim's location. But it's nice to get Attrition Orbs on there as an option as well. Then you've got all of the stat boosts like Demolitionist, Adrenaline Junkie, as well as the Dawning Surprise Origin trait where defeating targets awards a Dawning gift, and defeated powerful targets count as more than one. So without getting into a ton of detail, let me know any roles you might be interested in on that one. The other weapon though is the Fimble Winter Stitch, which is an arc precision frame sidearm. It can roll Rapid Hit as well as Trickle Charge. That's a new perk this season, where receiving or discharging Bolt Charge partially loads the magazine from reserves. That could be interesting. There's also Rangefinder as well as Loose Change, and then we have Supercharged Magazine, and while amplified, ammo is gradually transferred from reserves to the magazine, and while in Speed Booster, ammo regenerates faster and overflows the magazine. It can also get Collective Pugilism and Lone Wolf. Then the second slot can get Kill Clip, Jolting Feedback, Rolling Storm, Collective Action, Precision Instrument, as well as Redirection and Volt Shot. So it leans obviously into all of the kind of Jolting Feedback, Bolt Charge stuff, and the arc subclass verbs, including some of those new perks like Supercharged Magazine and Trickle Charge, so that component's interesting. But something else which is pretty cool is the fact that it can get Redirection, where damaging rank and file combatants increases damage against more powerful ones. And as an endgame bonus, this actually is pretty strong because the Redirection damage boost is pretty significant. So that's what I'm curious to try out. Not necessarily super hyped about the archetype itself, however, but you'll have to give me your thoughts. And finally, Mistral Lift returns, and it's a Void Adaptive Burst linear fusion rifle. Looking at the traits, slot 1 has Built to Blast, Envious Arsenal, plus it can also get Firefly, Reconstruction, No Distractions, Withering Gaze, and Overflow. Then the second slot can get Butterfly, which is a new trait, and aiming the weapon for a short period without firing causes your target to explode the next time you deal final blows, and the timer resets when you stop aiming down sight. It can additionally though get Bait and Switch, so Reconstruction Bait and Switch straight away is going to be a thing which is interesting. Plus there is Dragonfly, Precision Instrument, Destabilizing Rounds, Rewind Rounds, and Reservoir Burst. So a couple of good damage bonuses there. Butterfly will be interesting to try out. And on top of the Dawning Surprise trait, it also gets Viced Stinger, so potentially a decent linear to actually add to the arsenal there as an endgame weapon. And outside of cosmetic stuff, that really is the core of what the Dawning this year will be about. I'm not aware of new activities or things like that being added, so unlike Festival getting a unique activity, Dawning won't have that, much in the same way it won't have the kind of unique armor component outside of the cosmetics that we got in Solstice. But there will obviously be a big cosmetic component to the event, so there are some new things, but in terms of exotic weapon ornaments, nothing new spotted just yet. There will be the return of Infinite Gift, the Vex Mythoclast ornament, the Merrymaker ornament for Monte Carlo, and we can see these are 700 silver or 1250 bright dust. Many of us will have them from previous years, of course. There's also the Cold Cheer ornament for Aegis Scepter, Frostborn ornament for Black Talon, and the Compliance ornament for Anarchy. The event track will have its own cosmetics, as always, but we see the addition of things like the painted Elytra shell. That's a new one in the Eververse store, 600 silver or 2850 bright dust. Another one from the set is the Porcelain Gorgeous, which will sell for 2200 silver or 2500 bright dust, and the Soaring Kaelin exotic ship from the same set. Otherwise, there will indeed be a new skimmer for the Dawning. But best I can tell, this will not be available for Bright Dust. It appears to be a silver exclusive item. So you'll have to give me your impressions on what we can see for the Dawn in there in the comment section. Like I said, if you're into the cosmetic component, you like the armor, then that's something. Otherwise, some of those weapons actually are going to be pretty decent. And one of the benefits, I suppose, for these events is that the weapons are very easily farmed at high tiers now, so shouldn't be too difficult on that front. But again, give us your thoughts below. I wanted to post some coverage on the Dawning ahead of it actually dropping, given that it's going to be quite early on in the season. So I hope the video has been interesting at least. If it has, a rating and a comment for the algorithm would be very appreciated. And if you are new around here and you want to see more Destiny content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.
I'm still decorating. Sometimes I feel quite useless.